Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to True Telos Trading. It is November 25th, 2025. We have another stock that we traded this morning, but again, like yesterday, we made a mistake and traded a B quality stock instead of it being a quality stock. And it shows in the very small profit that we made today. There were a few mistakes that we made while or before trading this stock. Let's go ahead and get into that trade of the day. The stock that we traded this morning, the ticker was LNAI. Again, today's date is November 25th, 2025. The stock did have breaking news this morning. This would be a 3 here. It did not have below a uh, 10 million share float. The float on this stock was approximately 14 million shares. So it's not above that 20 million, but it's definitely above that 10. So this would be a 0. It was above the 200 moving average. When we bought this stock, it was about $1.60. The 200 moving average on the daily is approximately 54 cents, so definitely above that. This would be a 2 here. It was not up over 50%. When we saw it moving up on the day trade dash, it was about 30, a little bit over 30%. So this will be a 0 here. This is one thing that I did not check. I did see that the stock, the float was below or was above that 10 million. So at the least, this could have been an 8, which is still a C quality trade. So I don't know why exactly I got in it, but let's go ahead and keep going. It was below $10. As I said, we bought it for $1.60. So this would be a 1. It was among the top 3. It was the number 2 stock on the day or in the morning. So this would be a 1 here. Did not reach any all-time highs. This would be a 0 here. So if we add all of these up, we would get a score of 7. And according to our True Telos Trading Grading Scale, a score of 7 is a B, good quality stock. So just running into a little bit of trouble. Again, I am a little bit rusty. We're getting back into it after coming back after a little medical scare. But these are mistakes that I don't want to keep making in the future. So it's something I'm going to have to learn how to dial in on, looking at the 2 different scanners, or maybe I should just only look at one when it comes to Ross's top gainer scanner and then the Webull, the top gainer scanner, because I like to have both of them up just so I can see how both markets are working. But trying to look at both of them is probably a little bit tedious for me right now, but I digress. Let's keep on moving. The strategy that we used today was the break-in high of day. We wanted that stock to keep moving up, keep making new highs, and buy when it's making those new highs to get to that next resistance point that we marked off on our chart. And we'll be looking at our chart here shortly, but that strategy was break-in high of day. Let's see, the amount that we made per share was very, very minuscule. We made 1 cent per share on this trade today. 1 cent is still profit, but very, very small. Still profit, but very, very small. The time that we were in this trade was approximately 3 minutes. And as I said before, I want to try to keep that time under 90 seconds. We actually doubled that time today. That's not something that I want to continue doing. I wanted the stock to push a little bit higher. I do recognize that the float was a little bit higher than the stocks that we traded before, but I was looking for that stock to go a little bit higher than what it actually did. And after that 90 seconds, I was the stock was fluctuating at about 153, and I wanted to see that thing push a little bit higher. It eventually pushed to 170, but that was about 3 minutes after. 3 minutes after I purchased or after I had sold that position. So that was a little bit longer. I know that my strategy dictates that for me to be 80 to 90% accurate, I have to enter the same way that I entered. And if the stock doesn't go up in that first 90 seconds, if it goes up in that first 60 seconds, if it doesn't go up in the first 60 seconds, the my accuracy drops tremendously. So every time I buy a stock, I have the timer here. I set the timer. If it doesn't go up, and within that a lot of time, I know that the chances of me being green on this trade, according to all of my metrics, tells me that I'm not going to be. So I have to make sure that I do my due diligence and get out of those stocks, get out of those trades where the it's not going in my favor. So again, I held for a little bit longer than I wanted to, than I needed to. So that's going to be something I have to work on in the future with these stocks. Like I said, it is a B quality stock, so I see why. But we made a very small profit today of $5.18 on a B quality stock. Let's go ahead and get into the chart to see how we traded that stock today. This is our stock that we traded this morning, LNAI. As you see, it did make a pretty decent move. It moved from about 128 all the way up here to 150. So I marked this spot off because this was the next resistance point that it could reach from the daily. I wanted it to hold above this point, and that gave me a little bit of confirmation that it was going to get to this next point up here. The next point of resistance on the daily was at this 195. That's what I was hoping. I was a little bit hesitant to hop in. I should have hopped in exactly when it broke over and held over for a second or a few seconds over this 153. But like I said, I hesitated because I looked back and saw that the float was a little bit high. Again, 14 million shares isn't really that high or that higher than 10 million, but high enough for me to be a little bit hesitant getting into the stock. Again, I didn't really check uh the percentage change to make sure that it was at 50%. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten in. I dialed in immediately when I heard that auto cue from the day trade dash over the stocks that I would be interested in. And just me being patient and me actually noticing that the stock isn't meeting all of my criteria to a T is something that I'm going to have to actually start dialing in on pretty hard. So it's going to be a work in progress for me, just adding a new tool to the toolbox and being able to use it. So again, I purchased right here at 6:49 a.m. I bought close to, let's go ahead and check our order window because I did two orders. I bought 98% with this account at 160, at that 160. And you see, I tried to sell the entire position right here at that 3 minute mark. I thought I did, but when I looked over at the order window, I still had some shares that were still in there, still that hadn't been filled. So I pressed the sell button again and got rid of all of the shares. I bought approximately 324 shares of this stock. At tried to get it at that price, or yeah. So I bought all these shares of this stock at that price, and I tried to sell when I noticed it wouldn't keep ascending. And I wanted to get all of them out at this price, but I sold some for break even, a small amount, but still nonetheless. So I held this position. I bought it a little bit high. I wanted to wait for the pullback. It did reach a high right here of 64. That 60 is a small pullback, but I should have waited till it pulled back to that first resistance point to see if it would hold more. And if it did hold, I should have bought there and then watched it ascend a little bit higher. But I think this was a decent trade. It would have hit a high of 170, and that would have been a 10 cent with the profit. So I would have made probably close to $30. But there was a big jackknife right here, a big drop. After it hit that 170, it just came right back down, hit a low of 150. So I'm glad I made the trade where I did, even though it's not an A quality stock, it is a B quality stock. We are positive on it. I will try to do better in the future when it comes to these stock selections, because I don't want to keep on picking B quality stocks and expecting them to move like A quality stocks. The market is moving a bit slower. I do think we are in a bear market for the time being, so making profit will be a little bit harder. Seeing these stocks that are going to be making those 50 to 100% moves are going to be less and less frequent. So there are going to be days where we are not trading, but mistakes nonetheless. We are sticking to our strategy. We're sticking to our True Tellers trading grading scale. We are making mistakes and we are correcting them as we are going. Small profit today off of all of these shares, just about $5.18. Like I said, we're just going to keep it going. Keep on document everything that we're doing and keep on letting you guys know exactly how we're doing it. If you've enjoyed this, please don't be afraid to like and subscribe, and welcome to True Telos Trading. Mistakes aside, we do know that it was a decent quality stock and we came out with profit. Even though it was a very small profit, it's a profit nonetheless. It's something that I want to keep on doing and keep on growing. We're going to make mistakes no matter what. We're going to have green days and red days. We want to keep those green days plentiful and make a big profit. We want to keep those red days very small and not lose a lot to secure our account too, so we can mitigate as much risk as possible. If you guys have any questions for me, don't be afraid to ask. As always, I am an open book when it comes to everything. I love when you guys ask me questions. Please stay tuned for this next time for True Telos Trading. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.